actually, you hopped on a perfect time because Connor and I, we were just about to start our, it's funny. We were just about to start our next episode of our July podcast. So you're perfect timing to, you're going to be our first interview because Connor has never been on our interview podcast before. So he's my co-host. And this is.
I gotta go.
What? So this is Josh. This is Best Buds 40K. This is our podcast for YouTube and Spotify. And we usually do once a month, for fun, talk about Warhammer, talk about miniatures and nerd stuff. And you happen to be at the right place at the right time because Connor has never co-hosted an interview with me before. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And this is year 3 for us doing it. So he's never done one. Yes, in 3 years, you're the first. Random, super random.
Lined up where I never am.
That is wild.
Whenever we're doing the interviews,
so as we get started, Josh, if you don't mind, kind of introducing yourself and kind of how you got into the hobby and what games you're kind of playing, that'd be awesome.
So I got into the hobby, I want to say 9 or 10 years ago, but not as a painter, as a gamer. I've always been a nerdy gamer guy. Like, this has been my life for 50 years. I was playing X-Wing miniatures a few years ago, just before COVID. And, of course, COVID stopped all of that social everything. Really good friend of mine from Vermont said, hey, we've got this game coming up called Marvel Crisis Protocol. You got to build and paint everything. Do you want to give it a shot? This is at the end of 19. I had a couple of models of various stuff from like old pal Ralph Hartha stuff hanging around my house. And I said, let me give this a try. My wife had apple barrel craft paint hanging around. And I said, let me give it a shot with some shitty brushes. And I loved doing it. I got in my wife bought me a small box of like plastic crappy, like Dungeons and Dragons minis. And I tried to paint a couple of those. She bought me an airbrush, and everything just accelerated really quickly. But I really enjoyed painting the Marvel Crisis characters. I thought they were great. They were nice and simple. Another friend of mine said, hey, you're painting those. Do you want to do an Angron form?
Oh, that's a big step.
Angron's huge. And he paid me well for it. He's like, look, I know this is early for you in your career. I know I've been doing it for like a year and a half at that point. I was not good. However, I decided to do the Angron piece. I spent over 150 hours in sub-assembly with it. Wings, arms, bits and pieces, all torn apart. I've got pictures somewhere on the phone in various places.
That's sick.
And when it got together, I brought it down to my LGS, which sadly was closing that weekend permanently. It had been open for 6 years, and the owner was having problems with the management of the building, whatever. So I dropped it off at this LGS, stopped to play a game of Magic or two. People loved it. They went absolutely fantastic. Like 40 nerds just over the top, like, who painted this? It was wild. It was absolutely wild. So I continued. I really love the process. I am not so much a gamer in like the 40K, 30K sense. I am more the painter. It has become a passion of mine. Watching all of these incredible painters from John Ninas, Mark Sarastro, Ellie Firespray, all of these incredible people have done so much to influence what I do and what I'm able to do. Their teachings, what they were able to teach me early on in this hobby space was an absolute volume of material. I can't say thank you enough.
That's incredible, man. And it seems like it's been pretty much a short journey since COVID. It's only been like 5 years.
5 years since I've really been painting. Let me see. Let me grab out a decent piece. Where the hell did I put that last one?
Damn.
Oh, what did I do with my big boy? I put it back in a drawer.
What'd you say, Connor?
I said my big boy here. Oh,
Josh on Instagram
what the fuck did I do with that piece?
to see some of his
Do with that.
stuff. That's awesome.
Oh wait, never mind. I already gave it back to the dude. Yeah, I have a Minotaur that I finished up from Adepticon last year that I was going to show you, but it's on my profile because I actually gave it to the guy last week. Now, here's the twigs. Let me turn the camera around.
Let's see what you got.
Good phone case. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right. There's the squigs.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, I love those guys. I love those
That's
models.
an awesome model.
That's
wow.
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, my brother didn't know how to build them, and his whole army got screwed up because he built it poor. He built it wrong. Apparently, he was supposed to do shooters, not stabbers, and that was. He handed it to me. The squigs were separate. There was nothing really built. The goblins weren't on it, and I was like, "Well, I don't even know how the hell to build this thing because there's 3 different variations to build it." I said, "This is what I'm going to do with it." So I just slapped everything together.
Dude,
that's a great model. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a really fun model. Come to find out, his favorite color was purple, and I was like, "Well, okay, here we go, purples and magentas."
So you don't play 40K, 30K, fantasy, Sigmar. You just paint.
What was that?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're coming a little soft, Connor.
Yeah, real soft.
So in the last few years, Josh, there's been so many different, I don't even know if it's innovative techniques to painting or hobbying, but is there a specific, like, do you airbrush, do you hand brush, do you sponge, do you, like, what kind of methods do you use?
All of the above. All of the above. As a matter of fact, I was just sponging the shields and weapons on these little guys yesterday. There's the sponge, just, micro sponges. My wife got them for me, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. Yeah. I love them. I've got 5 airbrushes right now. One really nice one. It's a Soder 2020 with a .02 needle.
I have a Soder too.
Yeah.
What a brush. What a brush that one is. I'll be buying a new airbrush compressor soon because I run a little micro compressor. It's that little thing right there. It really, it does the job. It's 5 years old. It's beat up. It's time to replace it. It's a tankless compressor. It really doesn't have enough output at this point. I've had some spills on it and other such things. So,
I think one of Connor's questions was, do you game at all, or are you just mostly painting?
I do game, but it's so far and few between because of my schedule. I work as a professional chef, so my schedule is completely jacked up. But I do game, like, I love 30K. I love Age of Sigmar. It is where I'm going to be focusing most of my attention when I go back into gaming. Right now I'm playing Crisis Protocol with my buddy when I can. The 1 day a week I have off on Sundays is just not enough. But Age of Sigmar, like, I put together
your chapter or faction or whatever. Game's really that quiet.
Yeah, you're really quiet.
He's saying, who do you play in 30K or your faction?
Right now, I'm on Stormcast Eternals. Just because I have the Skaven Tide box. So I'm learning how to play them and the Skaven at the same time. So the rule books are a little funny. I haven't actually put down on the table because my Skaven aren't completed. Although I've read the rule books a couple of times and just kind of memorized how things work. It just actually playing a game has been a real pain in the ass. Of course, I tried to get up and get a couple of games in while I was at Adepticon this year, but I taught a dozen people how to play Marvel Crisis Protocol down on the first floor. So, teaching people at, an hour and a half, 2 hours at a clip, it takes a lot of time out of your day. But it was worth it. Yeah. Absolutely worth it. Got my points, got to meet a whole slew of people, got to hang out with, one of my teachers. It was a really good time. Like Adepticon, if you guys have not gone, go Go.
Really?
It will
Nice.
not disappoint. Matter of fact, they just opened hotel reservations for 27.
Oh,
It's in
shoot.
downtown
Okay.
Milwaukee.
Wow.
The convention center is 3.5 million square feet. It's 4 stories. It is monstrous.
That's
A
awesome.
two-story elevator rides. That's how big the place is. Like it is gargantuan. The first year I went, which was 2025, they had estimated somewhere between 8 and 9,000 should show up. They hit 12,000. And then
Wow.
last year they said somewhere between 12 and 13,000. They hit 17,000 last year.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot.
And it grows. Every year it is just growing and growing. The amount of people that you will meet and see there is absolutely incredible. I've met so many celebrities, and they remembered me, which is odd.
Great.
I'm a hermit. Yeah, like I was running around this past year looking for my buddy Brandon. He was up on 2 South. I was down on 2 North. It's a half a mile walk to the other side of the building complex. And I turned around, there's John Nina. So I waved, "Hey, John, how you doing?" He came running right straight over, gave me a hug, like, "Hey, how you doing? It's been great to see you," this and that. Mark Sarostro did the same thing this year, came straight up to me. It's Duncan Rhodes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
These are like high celebrity people, and they remembered my monkey ass. Like, I must have made some sort of impression. Like, I'm a pretty humble painter. Like, I've competed a couple of times in Golden Demon, The Worthy, and now an Erickson one that I just completed. As a matter of fact, today is Judgment Day. But I haven't won anything. I won the crowd a couple of years ago with my Angron, surprisingly. I might have a video up on my feed of that. If not, I'll post that back up.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
2 years ago, my buddy Brandon, the guy I painted Angron for, was like, "You've got to take this to Adepticon. You've got to put this in." And I was like, "Dude, I'm not that good. Like, there's no way I can compete up against these monsters." He says, "Bring it, put it in." So as I'm walking through the hall last year, trying to find where to post it up, but we were a day and a half early, so they opened up the hall, and everybody was just still kind of opening everything up. Even the Golden Demon case wasn't open for entries. It was just an empty glass case. So I'm coming back from the second floor where that was, and Wargamer Dave was talking with another entrant, another person who's going with the con, and he happened to see Angron in the box that I was holding, and he stopped his conversation and said, "Is that Angron?" I said, "Yeah, it is." He said, "It's my favorite, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "We're going to take a picture, right?" I said, "Yeah, right." So that was like my first celebrity bingo check last year, and I was absolutely elated. When Angron went into the case 2 years ago, I didn't think he was going to do well, but the crowd absolutely loved it. Most people told me it did better than everybody else's in the case. Thankfully, at least one person pinned on Angron, and it was my buddy Sam from Warpgate Studios. So I watched him get pinned, which was really cool. It was an honorable mention, but hey, look, he's been chasing that for 15 years.
That's awesome.
So,
and if Drew's saying maybe it's the man beard, right? The man beard. How?
Maybe it was a bit longer 2 years ago. It was actually twice this length 2 years ago.
I'm jealous, dude. I'm jealous.
Oh, this is short. I actually, my wife and my boss are like, "Hey, can you trim that down?" And it was about right here.
That's awesome.
I had to band it up, sausage links.
You mentioned, sorry, I'm going to go back to this because you mentioned as a career, you're a professional chef. Do you see yourself in any, I know culinary arts and hobbying is a little bit different, but are there any techniques in that where, you're mixing recipes, you're making new culinary art? Does that translate into hobbying at all?
I guess, yeah, a little bit, but not where you would think it would. It's the steady hand thing.
Sure.
I was about to say,
it's that steady hand. You've got to breathe and hold that breath once in a while thing, especially when you're doing like real small, tight areas, eyeballs. And with some of the plating techniques that I've used, especially when you're using tweezers, You know, you're placing little dainty items on plates, and if you fuck it up, you got to do the whole plate over again. And you don't have time to do a whole plate over again because it takes 3 minutes to do a plate sometimes. Because you want it perfect. You want it to go out exactly the way you foresee it in your brain. And if you fuck it up, you've got to start over. And it's like, I don't have time for that. I've got 30 other guests that want plates. But that's about the only thing that I can correlate. You know, and there's a little bit of artistry that goes into cooking. I'm not the most artistic cook, but I can make a plate look nice. It's just, you know, over 35 years of cooking, you'll learn. It's like anything else. You just learn a skill. I hate it.
Do you bring any models to work? Like you put it up on top?
I do actually once in a while.
Nice.
I brought in, what the hell did I bring in a couple of months ago? I brought in this little guy here, the mini caterpillar from what is this? Creepy Tables. Take him out of here a second. So I brought this little guy in a couple of months ago.
Oh, sick.
I'll pop him out of the package. And I showed him off, and one of my coworkers was like, "Can I buy that?" Sure, I guess. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was the last piece I had painted just before my brother passed. So it was like, I finished this like the day before he died. So it does have a little bit of meaning to it, but it's not anything that I was, you know, it wasn't really terribly special. I don't know if you guys can see this at all.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Dude, you're a beast. Oh my god.
Dude, wow.
That's crazy.
That's incredible.
And it's not much. Like, I was just experimenting with color. I'm just playing with, you know, see what works and what doesn't work. I had some new colors. I'm like, oh, new toys.
Can you show us your like room setup, Josh?
Yeah, hang on a second. I can absolutely show you the desk. It's not much. If we can go wide with it. Actually, yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking at.
That's awesome.
That's my hobby space. Like, it's my grandfather's desk. I inherited it after he passed.
Oof,
so I'm just like, I'll use it as a hobby space.
Even if it's like a humble space, you have a lot of effect on it, right? Like, I mean, you got tons of stuff. Output is great. Like, that's all that matters.
Power outlets, I've got lights, I've got all the things that I need.
That's right. Boy, Chris is in the chat. What's up, Chris? How are you?
The legend.
Yeah. So you got a ton of guys in here just like picking your brain about different hobby stuff. So what's like your, I guess, number one tip if you were to give to any new hobbyist, like how to really get into hobbying, like either paintbrush or airbrush? Like what's your advice?
Start slow. Don't dive headfirst into this and dump $2,000 worth of anything into it. Start small. Get a few paints, get a few miniatures, get some cheap brushes. Get the synthetic ones from someplace like Golden Maple or Kaitrufi. Get cheap brushes. You don't have to go and spend a fortune on them. Get some cheap brushes. Like my brushes, I'm on my second set of synthetics and my first set of Artist Opus. 7 years, 3 sets of brushes. That's not bad.
It's pretty good.
And I've got some of these synthetic brushes have 4,000 or 5,000 hours on them. And yeah, the tips are curling a little bit, but that's what happens with synthetic brushes. And what I like about these synthetic brushes is, see that long body on that? That's a big head. It holds a lot of paint. I don't have to go back to the well very often with that brush. And I think that's my number one. I've used it so often. Yeah, it's my one. I use them so often I rub the paint right off. Start small, get a few models, test it out. Don't go right out and buy an airbrush. You don't have to. Spray can. You can put brush on primers on these things. They make a brush on primer now. It's so simple. Get dry brushes. You can go buy makeup brushes and do this. Dry brushing is not what it sounds like. Moisten your bristles. Get a dampening pad. something like this. Water in here, dampen the bristles, get the water off, most of the water off of them. Then add paint, wipe the paint off, then add paint again, wipe the paint off the second time, then start your process. That way you don't get clumping, you don't get drying, you don't get the streaks. Always test on your hand or on a textured palette if you can. That's a great lead in. You can start easily with a quick dry brush. Once you brush on a primer, you can dry brush top down. You can make a quick zenithal. And what that'll do is it'll just bring out all the top end highlights. And there you automatically have top end highlights to start with. I like a black, gray, white zenithal highlight for an airbrush, but that's my preference. And with the airbrush, it changes the direction you can zenithal. You can change it from a bottom up. You can change it from a side. You can focal point. There's a lot you can do with an airbrush as far as priming and or base coats, finish coats, detail work. Like there's a lot you can do with it. It's just another tool, but you have to learn to be comfortable with it. Sorry, I bounce around a lot. ADD
No,
happens.
I say I learned. That was awesome. I didn't know that about dry brushing. That's good to know. But I think that
It's
was
one
a
of
point
my favorite tools.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I didn't know that about dry brushing either, to be honest. And like I've been painting for
As a matter of
almost as long as
fact,
you
if
have.
I could find them.
And that was a great point about starting small. Our boy Drew right now is on the chat, and he dove way too fast, very quickly, bought an airbrush. So I'm glad you're able to convey that to the audience. That's funny.
It's just something I spend a lot of time doing. Like my kids took over my video games, so I had to find something to do during COVID. This was what I found that I enjoyed doing.
That's awesome.
And I'm glad I found a community that enjoys it as well. You know what I mean? It's really difficult to find a hobby that other people enjoy because most hobbies are exclusionary. You know, when you model car guys, they're exclusionary. Model train guys, those are exclusionary guys. They build trains and yeah, they'll go to conventions and they'll buy stuff, but they're exclusionary people. You know, people that do sports, they're kind of exclusionary. Yeah, they'll go to competitions, but it's an individual thing. This hobby sphere is very different in that aspect because people need to be social with this. There's a very large sociability that comes with this hobby space and sphere. People are constantly trying to get information in and out. They're trying to pass information around to other hobbyists, other gamers. And that's what I love about this space.
That's awesome.
I don't know what else to say there.
100%.
If you guys can you guys hear me a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Okay, so like it's so cool to hear you talk about all that, Josh. It really takes me back to like when I started painting too, because I started painting like kind of with Ivan in a lot of ways, because we would get ready for events. Like there's one in particular I remember we went to New York to get ready for an event, and it was kind of the classic, like the techniques were all how fast can we get this done in time for this tournament?
Yeah.
So Ivan's teaching me how to do, prime the model white, paint it with wash exclusively to just get the colors on to get some stuff done. And
That's
I
speed
started
painting.
doing, dude, but it was really satisfying, because our focus was like, I want to go play the game.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it was like the perfect technique for that. And then from there, I really like got super interested and invested in painting and did a lot with it. And
that's
like,
where my go ahead.
Yeah.
My buddy Mike was the
like,
same way. Like speed paint, like get it on the table. I want to play, and I'm like, I want a better outcome of my own models.
Well, so now I'm like the opposite. I'm like, I've done like with Ivan, been to WTC, done all these like competitive event things, and now I'm like, I like don't want to play with models that are not up to my standard. I get kind of like
Higher standard.
if I go to an event and I'm just like, dude, this shit like does not look good. I'm stressed out,
My buddy
like,
Mike's the same way.
This, yeah.
My buddy Mike is just get him on the table. I just want to game. I just want to play. And I'm like, if I'm going to play, I'm going to do it with something that's looking decent. I
So I
can't.
agree.
I certainly won't put a gray model on the table.
Oh yeah, I mean, so with
Yeah.
like for like 11th edition, I'm like looking at my
So, Mike,
stuff and I'm like, I just want to play like the army I've kind of been painting for the past like year, even though they're not the best, which is like just I think not the norm necessarily for competitive 40K players. I think I'm at the point where I don't even really like I'm more focused on the hobby at this point, which is
yeah.
something I
Yeah,
never thought I would say.
that's where I am. Like I love the game. I love everything about 40K, 30K. I am not into the competition about it at all. I'm here to have fun. I'm a filthy casual. Absolutely filthy casual. I
There's
hate
nothing
it,
wrong with
but I
that.
love it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You know,
Honestly.
going into Adepticon this year, like they opened up the halls huge. Like they extended another whole nother wing because there are that many tournament players this year. And I walked around a bunch of the tables, and I'm looking at some of these models, and some of them are gorgeous. Some of them absolutely fucking brilliant. Others are like people just slapped a little bit of speed paint on, threw a little contrast paint on her, and took off. And it's sloppy, and it's like, oh my god, did you even bother? Like, it's a hobby. I get it. You want a game. I really do get it. You really want to game, but take a little bit of time. Take a little bit of care, please. Just
Because like
please.
I see it from both ends, and I like because my friend like I have a friend who has this great Tyranid army, and his color scheme is really distinctive, but it's like he definitely takes his time, but not a ton of time. But he's figured
Yeah.
out like a great formula where it's like I do everything with a couple of colors and I use contrast paint for everything. It doesn't take me too long, but I put in work to make my army look cohesive. And I'm like, that's like
Yes, that's fair.
I love that.
Yeah,
You know.
that's
Yes,
fair.
that's where
I
most
do
people
love
should.
that, you know.
I look at people like Laura the Kiddo. If you know who she is, you know who she is. She's a German painter, but she does these incredible pop culture reference in her army. She's got this incredible Tyranid army, and it's Mario and Luigi and Wario and SpongeBob and all
Oh,
of
I think
these
I've seen those.
other.
Yeah.
Oh my God, absolutely some of the best work. I would love to sit down at a table across from her and just game against that army. I think it would be absolutely hysterical to go against SpongeBob and Patrick.
Yeah. It'd be
That's,
right.
that's just absolutely fucking delicious. I love some of the things that people do. Like I saw somebody, one of the gals that I follow from England does glitter pop marines.
Yep.
So she paints them all in like these brilliant purples and pinks, and then bedazzles the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, "Oh, why would you do that? Why would you do that?" Of course, I commented like, "Can you imagine a glitter pop dreadnought dropping from orbit, just blasting onto the battlefield? Like, hi, bitches, I'm
great.
here, sparkle time."
It'd be great.
That's right. Yeah.
Fucking Christ! Like the imagination some people have. Laura the Kiddo the other day, she did a Helldrake with Jail Now.
Wow.
Holy shit. You should see this thing. It's massive and it's gorgeous. Like she did an incredible job. The wings have this absolutely brilliant freaking black glitter all over them, and the trim is just pure gold. It's gorgeous. It's got a great diorama.
Are you
that's awesome.
do you like building and converting stuff too, Josh, or are you more just on the paint side?
I love building. I'm not good at converting. I've done a couple of small conversions, but nothing that would make a whole lot of sense. A couple of years ago, when I first really kind of got started, as a matter of fact, just before I did Angron, I got involved with a group. I can't remember. I think it's a Space Ducks. They were doing a giveaway. It was a 2,000 plus point army giveaway to whoever. And they're like, yeah, here, can we all just kind of do a little something for this? I happen to have one intercessor and a bunch of parts from like the old world that somebody had given.
Ooh.
It's like, okay, I'm going to do my variation of a blade guard. So I took a lot of these large feathers from this old world stuff, and I started placing them on the armor plates on the left-hand shoulder, and then basically made wings, iron wings, for this intercessor off of his backpack and his shoulder pauldron.
Fire.
It was basically a giant, like, bladed wing, something like Sam Captain America would have used, you know, like slicing blades on metal wings, something Archangel would have done. So I did that up. I don't think that's posted, but it's somewhere. Somebody owns it now, because I shipped it over to Europe, and somebody owns it. It's part of their army. Looks like shit, but it's part of their army.
You know? Yeah. That's awesome.
So Josh, we're about that time now. We usually make these run about 20 to 30 minutes. So we really appreciate you joining. Do you have any last comments or anything for your fans, family, anyone?
Stay hobbying. Enjoy what you do. If you don't like it, change it. It's only paint. It's only paint. It strips away. You can cover it up. It's nothing. And please, don't let other people tell you how to paint your shit. Paint what you like. Paint what you like. Paint what you want. Don't do what everybody else is doing. It's not fun. If I see 1,000 armies that are all blueberries, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Make something a little bit different. I love doing things that are different. I hide things in your work. Hide UV paint in your work. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah. Enjoy what you do. Take your time with it. 18 minutes a day makes you 99% better than everybody else in the sphere. That's it. 18 minutes a day, folks. If you sit down for 18 minutes a day, by the end of the year, you'll be 99% better than everybody else around you.
That's good advice.
Dude, Josh is dropping gems, dude.
Dude,
that I'm
wisdom.
gonna apply to my life. That's 18 minutes a day is good because I have ADHD.
It's not long. It's not that long.
Do shit for a long.
Most people take a shit in more time than that.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, dropping bombs, dude. Dropping wisdom, dude. Well, thanks for joining Best Buds 40K. Seriously, for our first co-hosted interview with Connor finally coming on. God.
Method, IPA, 99% IPA.
99%. There we go.
Now just a little bucket, throw them in there, wait a day or two. Paintbrush, toothbrush, little soft bristle toothbrush, and a bucket, because you're going to lose parts. I promise you. In a bucket. Yeah. You're going to lose parts. You're going to start scrubbing, and things are going to break off. I almost lost, what was it, a hand from my Red Skull a couple of years ago when I repainted that. That Tesseract cube he's holding up in his hand like this.
Oh, yeah.
And it popped off, and I was like, oh, shit, almost went down the drain. So, buckets.
Ooh, the drain, yeah. Buckets.
Well, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
Yeah, have a good one.
Have a good one.